I think it's safe to say that the MCU is a success story in the world of movies. I know a lot of people are tired about hearing about the MCU or even superhero movies in general. Yet, considering Marvel movies' success rate, can you really blame us? Like the MCU or hate it, you gotta respect it. I've actually been waiting for this ever since the trailer launched in December. Well, maybe ever since Guardians of the Galaxy with Thanos' cameo, maybe ever since Avengers? Point being that a lot of Marvel fans have been waiting for this. I know a lot of people by now are just waiting for a Marvel movie to strike out, but Marvel has had an amazing track record. Sure, not every movie is fantastic, but most are, for the most part, competent or entertaining. But sometimes they just take your breath away. So, without giving any spoilers away, I can clearly say that this movie will leave you breathless. Like the Avengers movies, this is a accumulation of several different characters across the entire MCU. Comic book fans are well acquainted with the idea of an quote unquote event comic, but for all of those of you not in the know, an event comic is basically a story in a comic book franchise where some antagonistic force threatens the entire comic book universe. And so all hands are on deck as every single hero is brought in to deal with the event. So that's what this movie is, a gathering of heroes to stop a threat that none of them could face alone. So that being said, this movie is more like a accumulation of several different stories, all converging into one singular point. Like I said, all hands on deck for this one. Nearly every main hero in the MCU who's made a film appearance is here, minus the ones on TV shows, but maybe we'll see them soon. We've got the Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, the old and new Avengers, all teaming up to fight Thanos and his Dark Order. I was really impressed with how much screen time everyone got. No one felt like they got the shorthanded stick. Nearly every character acted and behaved their way where they would in their own movies, and each added their own unique flavor to the story. The Guardians crew was hilarious, as always, but had some genuinely touching moments from Rocket, Peter Quill, and Groot. Drax is by far the most hilarious Guardian in this movie, and maybe in his own series as well. Gamora, who I kind of found to be kind of bland in previous movies, actually plays a really critical role in this film. And her sister Nebula is just as tweaked as ever. I love Tom Holland's performance as Spider-Man. Tobey and Garfield will always have a place in my heart, but Tom's portrayal of a super eager intern sort of superhero is really endearing. And he's an interpretation of Spider-Man that loves with all his heart to be a hero and is not afraid to share his enthusiasm. Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk is great to see again, and seeing him unite with the OG Avengers and catch up is really heartwarming, as well as a great way to catch up anyone who hasn't been watching the movies. Seeing Doctor Strange and Stark is also a battle of the egos, though I'm kind of disappointed they never mentioned the fact that they both have awesome facial hair. Sad face. Speaking of Stark, he is by far the character we've known the longest, and the one who really puts his all into this fight. He's a futurist, you see, and everything from the Chitauri invasion, having PTSD, to Ultron and Civil War has all been leading up to this moment. Him trying to save a world that he predicts doesn't have a future. I think my only complaint character-wise is Captain America's team. We're sort of told that they've been on the down low since Civil War, and that they're here to help since the universe is in danger, but aside from that, we never really learn how Cap, Black Widow, Falcon, and the rest really feel about the situation. They're just kind of like, oh, alien invasion? Yeah, we'll help out. Hopefully we see more of them in Infinity War Part 2. But Thor. Woo, let me tell you about Thor. Thor has been through some stuff, man. Guy needs a metal guitar solo and like a pint of Nordic beer on the house for like ever or whatever because my boy Thor puts in the work. Even before this movie, he lost so much. I really just want to protect his smile. The dude has been through some stuff and deserves a little bit of happiness. Our villains are Thanos and his Black Order, and I'll talk more about them in the next section. I know I missed a couple of heroes, but I would be here all day if I would be here all day if I mentioned each and every single one. But this is more like an ensemble movie rather than just following one particular story. But in spite of how impressive all the heroes were in this movie, by far it's actually the villain who kind of steals the show. This is kind of Thanos' movie. The way the story is framed is that Thanos is this misunderstood prophet who's the only one in the universe who's strong enough to truly, quote unquote, save the universe, and that is by destroying half of all life in the universe with the Infinity Stones. Indeed, we really see Thanos struggling so desperately to get the stones like a knight on some insane crusade. I think you can see this movie as either our brand of pre-established heroes fighting to stop a genocidal maniac, or a single misunderstood prophet who must bear the great burden of saving the universe by killing trillions of people. I won't go into spoilers, but I will say that each side tries their damnedest to get the stones, and the way that this movie ends is chilling and haunting. Overall, this is the accumulation of 10 years of Marvel's planning. It's an event celebrating the MCU itself. It has all the action we expected and the characters and humor we all come to love. However, this movie may leave you more shocked and with way more conflicting emotions than you might expect. But I can almost guarantee it will leave you waiting and wanting for Avengers Infinity War Part 2.